Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 2 in this series on Echo Isle between Yumiko and LawLiet. Yumiko currently down 1-0 in this series, and yes, this is taken from the final Zotac Cup for WarCraft 3. I am definitely sad to see it go. Some of the best games that I have cast have been coming from the Zotac Cup, and it's been one of the most consistent tournaments out there. So I am already looking to see where I can get additional replays, since the consistent replays from the Zotac Cup will be coming to an end. On the top left-hand side of the map, we have Yumiko spawning as the blue human player. Meanwhile, on the top right side of the map, we have LawLiet spawning as the yellow night elf. Night elf versus human here on Echo Isle, and I already know that this is going to be a very entertaining game. It came highly rated and is one of the reasons why I am even casting. Well, I'm casting this because it's Zotac Cup. Let's just hope that other sponsors out there will be able to pick up, and there will continue to be more and more events out there. Alright, LawLiet currently training up a warden, and so it looks as though it's going to be a warden warden versus a Mountain King. Mountain King, very common here on Echo Isle, and I am curious as to what the secondary heroes are going to be. Now, we also saw a very unusual strategy last week where it was an Archmage followed up by Footman, and one of the ways that Night Elf players can easily deal with Footman is with Fan of Knives and Breath of Fire. If you're able to use Fan of Knives and Breath of Fire to really shut down the early game for human players and get all of that experience, things will be dramatically in your favor. However, with that said, we've seen the introduction of the Goblin Alchemist into the rotation for the human army. This was something that wasn't very popular, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it now if we do see a panda and a panda and a warden. So far, we are looking at the Mountain King now trying to creep out this particular creep cap. It looks like the Mountain King did not get off a Stormbolt. There finally goes a Stormbolt onto the Kobold Geomancer. That Kobold Geomancer will get taken down pretty easily. There's the Troll Shadow Priest, and things are looking up and up for Yumiko. Meanwhile, you can see that this Renegade Wizard is taking a lot of damage as well, already down to sub 200 hit points. It looks like it will fall with little to no effort whatsoever. Mountain King now sitting at level 2, picks up a Pendant of Energy, a very nice item for every mana-hungry hero out there. Meanwhile, down over here, we can see that the Warden is attempting to clear out this particular creep camp. Should be able to do so. Has already gotten up to level 2. It has cleared out the mercenary creep camp as well. So things are looking up for the Warden. The Warden has a Talisman of Evasion, so that's going to make it that much more difficult for the Warden to get surrounded and focus fired. And even if she does get into a very unhealthy situation, she can just blink out of there and run away. Alright, Warden may try to go for Fan of Knives. It doesn't look like it though. There goes the one unit there picking up. I can't tell what that is yet. I still can't tell what that is. Anyways, the Warden now going after this creep camp, going after the Nightcrawler, and finally going after the other units. There's a Glove of Haste. There's a Manual of Health. And I believe that Warden is on her way to becoming the dominant hero for the Night Elf army. Meanwhile, the Mountain King sitting at level 2 needs to find a way, and does pick up a Staff of Teleportation and Dust of Appearance. It looks as though he sold his Scroll of Town portal and also has Boots of Speed. Well, that Mountain King is going to be very impressive, but if it can get to level 3, it will be that much more deadly, as a level 2 Stormbolt can in fact take down a Wisp in one bolt. Alright, 120 hit points compared to the 225 hit point damage there. Manual of Health picked up by Yumiko. So Yumiko going about reading, and now you can see that the Warden is now making its way in. Alright, Staff of Teleportation coming in. And is the Warden going to be able to get away? Looks as though yes it will, but not before suffering up a lot of damage here. We may see another Fan of Knives. Are we going to see another Stormbolt? Oh, a huge amount of damage coming around from multiple sides here, as the Warden gets bashed. That is just absolutely bad news, and blinks back up to the north in order to make some distance. That was a huge play there, as it is now returning to base with 63 hit points. Alright, Mountain King. It looks as though we are setting up an arcane tower here. No town hall as of yet. Here comes in more peasants, so that should be what exactly you're looking for. An expansion there by Yumiko, as we are looking at the warden not protecting some of those units. And now what's going to be happening here? LawLiet could end up taking a lot of damage or losing a lot of archers here. Another archer is about to fall down to 102 hit points already. And the Mountain King is just getting some free experience on that archer. There it goes. Alright, Troll Shadow Priest now off to the north. It looks as though Yumiko was able to finish it off there, as LawLiet is unable to finish off this creep camp. Poor LawLiet right now, as LawLiet is really feeling the pressure in this game too. So far, let's see what's going to be happening next. Troll Berserker now trying to get away. It looks as though the Huntress is also taking a fair bit of damage as well. And it is still taking more and more. In comes a Fan of Knives. There goes a Troll Shadow Priest, as the footmen are still trying to give chase. Where is that Mountain King? I don't see it. And I don't see it anywhere on the map right now. But that would be a very telltale sign of what the human army is trying to do. Alright, there is the Mountain King. Mountain King shows up just in time to try and stormbolt the warden. It looks as though, yes, the lower hit point Huntress does get away. And now the Mountain King is just running out in front, trying to finish off this warden here. That warden now running back in between the trees. Is going to be able to make it through? Oh, there's a Stormbolt, and a long-distance Stormbolt through the trees after a blink, but still able to head back home. Huntress is now making their way off to the north. Warden sitting in between the Ancient of Wonders and the Altar of Elders. What's going to be happening next? Only time can tell, as we are looking at Yumiko just mining off of 2 bases. He is sitting at no upkeep, so he is just getting a very, very large bank and is hoping to be able to get into low upkeep faster than his opponent with also a much larger army. However, unbeknownst to him, we may be seeing an expansion set up soon, just because of the way the Ancient of War is positioned. As soon as we see another wisp on the way down, is that a wisp? Yes, it is, but it is not growing up to be a tree of life. Alright, Warden now looking to join in on the top left-hand side of the map. We are currently sitting at Town Hall on both of these bases. No upgrade to keep as of yet. Mountain King going to look to take down some of these units here as the Nightcrawlers do fall. Mountain King still sitting at level 3, not yet quite to level 4, as we are now going to see the Murloc Huntsman perhaps get taken out here. Alright, there's a Fan of Knives getting in some easy damage, and it looks as though the Huntresses want to finish off the Murlocs and gain some experience for the Warden. Give me one moment. Alright, I'm back. Let's continue this, as the Panda has joined in on the fight. So it is going to be a Panda and a Warden fighting against the Mountain King. Mountain King does get a Stormbolt off against the Huntress, and this is one of the things that you have to be very, very careful with. Anytime that you are fighting up against a Mountain King, if you start running, you could end up taking a Stormbolt, and that Stormbolt, that stun, usually you end up losing a unit. So a very good trade there by Yumiko, as Yumiko now makes his way off to the north. Meanwhile, the Warden, very good positioning on this creeping, making sure that if his opponent does come from the left or even from the bottom, he has a very easy escape. That's one of the main differences between high level and low level players, as a Tome of Intelligence was picked up. However, another Ensnared and another Stormbolt does take down the units. However, Breath of Fire after a Fan of Knives, so a huge amount of damage there, as the Warden now tries to make its way over. However, the Warden is currently slowed. The Panda, is he going to be able to get out? No, he is not. The Warden now in a little bit of trouble, does have a potion of mana, could try to get off another Fan of Knives here in just a second. The Mountain King is still rather dangerous, has plenty of mana and a Clarity Potion, as the... Oh, there it goes. Is it going to try to perhaps use another Fan of Knives? No, it is not. Just running around in circles, hoping to not get intercepted by the Mountain King. You can see there it is there. And oh, takes down another unit. That Warden just teleporting all across the map, hoping to take down unit after unit. The Mountain King now coming back around from the far side. The Warden, however, a very, very smart call there. There's a Stormbolt, though. And oh, the Warden could get taken down to 45 hit points. Now trying to get away. It looks like he will be able to run back as the Mountain King was slowed by that slow poison from those Dryads. Warden now heading all the way back home, low on mana, needs to perhaps use a Moonstone as well. Meanwhile, the Dryads are down over here. There's the Moonstone being used. There is a Clarity Potion being used, trying to just get up as much mana as possible. Picks back up the Circlet of Nobility, and now is on its way out. Dryads looking to put pressure over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Let's see what's going to be happening here. A lot of units are currently queued up as the Dryad is currently magic immune, so it does not take that arcane feedback damage. However, piercing damage is rather high against an unarmored unit such as a Dryad, as that does force it to pull back. However, one Footman is going to get taken out here. That Footman, very, very bad day, just absolutely getting destroyed. Does have Defend now, and that's actually going to start reflecting some of that damage back to the other units. The Footman now down to 35 hit points. No, down to 12 hit points. It is still surviving, and there it goes. Finally gets taken out as the Warden may try and clear out and do a little bit of damage. However, there is an Arcane Tower in position. That Warden does have a Ring of Regeneration, which will come in very, very handy in these long, drawn-out games. All right, off to the north here. What are we going to see? Ogre Magi could get taken down here in just a moment. Let's see, going after the Troll Trapper first. There it goes. Now going after the Ogre Magi. Fan of Knives does get some extra damage across the units. There goes one. A Potion of Greater Mana. And now retreating back home. A quick blink to make sure that the Mountain King did not get in front of it and take out that Warden. All right, the Goblin Alchemist has once again joined the fight. And an Alchemist very, very effective because of that Healing Spray. Healing Spray to try and counteract the Fan of Knives and the Breath of Fire. Also, it looks as though this is invisible, but is he invisible? I guess it looked like it was shadow melted. Yes, it was shadow melted. It is Nightfall, even though it doesn't quite seem like it. Meanwhile, down over here, Mountain King going after Wisp. Are we going to perhaps see a detonation? There we go. As that Mountain King now running back around. Goblin Alchemist looking to get to a higher and higher level. Chemical Rage. Probably not. Healing Spray. Perhaps the better of the two. Healing Spray and Acid Bomb. Very, very effective against, not only against ground units, but also against air units, since they do stack up. The Acid Bomb is very, very effective there, as we're now picking up a Scroll of Healing and also have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. The Mountain King trying to just play a game of harassment. The Warden could easily blink forward and then get a Shadow Strike off if he decided to, or if she decided to. No, the Warden is going to decide not to chase here, as the Panda is still sitting at level 1, still has yet to get to level 2. I'm surprised by that, as level 2 Breath of Fire is significantly more effective than level 1, and especially with so many Footmen and Mercenary units still out on the field, I would have suspected that the Panda wanted to get to level 3 rather quickly. The longer this game goes, the more we're going to see dual Arcane Sanctums and Spellbreakers, which mean that the effectiveness of the Warden and the Panda is going to fall off significantly. All right, here you go. You can see that we are trying to go in for a little bit of a fight here. Do we see the Acid Bomb? Yes. Acid Bomb level 1, minus armor and also damage over time. It looks as though level 3 now on the Alchemist, as the Alchemist is attempting to take down this Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Gargantuan Sea Turtle will most likely fall here. No real problem whatsoever. Troll Shadow Priest now taking a bit of damage. And it looks as though level 1 Acid Bomb, as the Panda picks up a Claws of Attack plus 9, a very nice item. But without Chemical Rage, it is really not as effective. Alright, what's coming down over here? Warden sitting at level 4, Panda sitting at level 2, finishing off this Murloc Nightcrawler creep camp. It looks as though all of these are going to be falling apart there in just a moment. Level 4 still on the Warden. Level 7 on the Gargantuan Sea Turtle will fall. May give level 5 to the Warden. Yes, it does. After a Murloc. And now it gets teleported back home. Alright, the Warden sitting at level 5. May try to come in and engage right here. Oh, wait, there's a Stormbolt. And here you go. There is a Shadow Strike. Mountain King is now in a bit of trouble. He has really nowhere to go. Staff of Teleportation. Are we perhaps going to get a Shadow Strike onto the unit there? No, we do not. I believe a Shadow Strike would have actually taken out the Mountain King, or at least gotten him very, very close. Mountain King was down to 373 hit points, and now you can see that healing spray coming into action, healing back up all of these units here. Alchemist, very, very, or rather low on mana at this point. I'm surprised we don't see a Clarity Potion transferred over to that Alchemist. Alchemist will need plenty of mana if he wants to be able to do anything significant. And also you can see that the Mountain King is also using a Clarity Potion as well. So we might see a little bit of transfer there. Nope, he is not going to be dropping that Pendant of Energy. As we are now looking off to the north, that Panda sitting at level 2 and still not yet quite to level 3 even after clearing out this creep camp. Only 1 or 2 green creep camps left. Panda sitting at level 2 could get to level 3 actually by clearing out this green creep camp here. And the Warden is already sitting at level 5. So level 5 Warden does mean level 6 is just right around the corner. And we saw how effective that was in game 1. Panda looking to clear out that creep camp. Oh, yes. Just barely gets it. Exactly 500 experience on the nose for that Panda. And now level 2 Breath of Fire going to cause absolute nightmares until we see more and more Spellbreakers. Riflemen have been added as well, and the Riflemen are of interesting combination because of that Alchemist. Anytime you can focus fire down a unit, especially if they have negative armor, that's where range units come in very, very handy. The Rifleman can easily focus down the unit, even though it is not within melee range, since it is a range unit. There's the Roar, there is the attack, there's the Fan of Knives, as the Warden is actually in a little bit of trouble. There's the Breath of Fire, healing spray to try to counteract it, and also we see Scroll of Protection. Alright, the Warden could try to get off another Fan of Knives there. Oh, does get off another Fan of Knives, now going after some of these units, but not going after some of the peasants for some strange reason, as we now see a low hit point Bear trying to get away. It looks like as though it will not be able to get away, and with that blinking Warden still causing so many problems. Stormbolt dodged ever so barely by Staff of Preservation. The Warden now all the way back here, picking up that Pendant of Energy, still has a Potion of Greater Mana, and here we go. Ancient of War may get taken down. So far, this Goblin Alchemist has been constantly healing up the units. There is a Stormbolt. Spellbreaker is now getting in some easy shots. There is the Blink back off to the north, as I do not believe the Warden even got off a Fan of Knives there, unfortunately for that Warden. Warden currently getting rejuvenated. More bears being added, 47 over 70 supply, and here we go. In come the Mountain King, the Spellbreakers, and the Goblin Alchemist. So far, the Warden could try to get some damage. There's a huge Fan of Knives there again, but Riflemen not nearly as weak as Footmen. As you can see, the healing spray going across multiple units and healing all of the Riflemen in the backfield. There's another Fan of Knives, but that is not going to be that successful, as the Goblin Alchemist finally decides that this is not a fight that he wants to be in. There goes one Rifleman finally, but that's not the right amount of damage or enough damage to really keep you in this game. All right, let's come back over here. The peasants are now walking all the way back. Gold mine here and gold mine here are going to get mined out, I think. You can see the 287 seconds, so 5 minutes out. This gold mine will be mined out. I think this gold mine still has quite a ways to go. At least, what is that, 10 minutes? But on a map like this where no one really has a definitive edge right now, LawLiet is actually playing this very, very smart. He's sitting at no upkeep, 48 over 70. Meanwhile, his opponent is sitting at 77 over 84. The gold difference is only about 4 gold a second or 240 gold a minute because of the taxation differences. 7 gold per trip versus 10, 14 gold a second versus 10 gold a second. And as LawLiet, if he can make this game go long, which it looks like that is his ultimate goal, he can make this gold mine out and run out, and then eventually just start trading efficiently, since he will have the bigger bank. Alright, in comes a Spellbreaker, only to get slow poisoned down. This Spellbreaker having a very bad day. Looks like it will get taken out. Warden sitting at level 5 still. Meanwhile, off to the north, there is a Sentry Ward there. No real engaging down over here, as Yumiko is healing up at his own Arcane Vault. Yumiko feels pretty confident at this point, I'm sure, but he has to be very careful. He cannot let this game go too long, otherwise his opponent is going to be able to catch up and even surpass him in total gold mine. Alright, here we go. There is the Warden, is currently invisible. Alright, Riflemen, Spellbreakers are all right here. There's the Goblin Alchemist. Goblin Alchemist nearly at 500 mana. Also has 2 Scrolls of Healing and a Scroll of Protection. That is going to be some amazing, amazing damage mitigation. And what is going to be happening here? Alright, Fan of Knives pretty much negated. Breath of Fire is going to be negated. At least the first ones of each. But if the fight continues to go long like this, I can see that Yumiko is just going to wait for the timer to purchase the necessary items from the shop again. Spellbreaker coming in. There is the Scroll of Talent or Staff of Teleportation for that Mountain King. It's going to join in on the fight. And the Mountain King is still not charging in just quite yet. Mountain King getting in position. You can see a Tree of Life is down over here. Finally going into low upkeep. Sitting at 61 over 80 supply. So we are now harvesting 7 gold to 14. But Yumiko does have much more gold in that bank there compared to his opponent. This is about a 7,000 resource difference that we're currently looking at. All right, there goes the bears going after the units. There is a huge Fan of Knives. And what is going down? You can see that the Warden is just trying to engage here. There's a Breath of Fire, and damage is being dealt. The Healing Spray missing or a little bit late there. As you can see that the Warden is very, very low. There is another Fan of Knives. We need to see a rejuvenation onto the Warden, as the Warden now gets Staff of Preservation all the way back home. You do see an Acid Bomb slowly ticking on her, but she seems to be fine, as she's going to be joining back in on this fight. Bear, low hit point Bear, now taken down. Yumiko is in trouble, sitting, I don't know how much gold we're sitting at, or the supply that we're sitting at, currently sitting at 46 over 80 compared to perhaps 70 now, 79 over 84. Yumiko looking like this is an absolute easy fight for him. And now, what is going to go down? The Warden actually in a dangerous spot there. Gets off a Fan of Knives. Another Scroll of Healing is burned, but we still have one more Scroll of Healing to use. And the Panda is now using an anti-magic potion. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives? We need to see another Fan of Knives. There you go. The Panda falls at level 3. And the Warden still trying to fight this off. The Goblin Alchemist with so much healing spray actually causing problems. All right, another Fan of Knives comes in. All right, level 6 now on the Warden. The Warden, there's the Avatar of Vengeance. And now things may start switching up for the better for LawLiet. LawLiet now chasing this low hit point Bear. Gonna get Storm Bolted, taken down. Level 5 on the Mountain King. Not yet quite up to level 6, but we'll be able to get there in just a moment. Meanwhile, you can see that the Spirits of Vengeances are just chasing after these units. And what's going to be going down? All right, you can see a one-on-one fight here. This is not a good fight for the Alchemist. As the what is this? We can see that the Warden is currently just shadow melded off over here, and now the Warden is actually perhaps going to get rejuvenated. All right, back over here. The trees are now starting to fight back. The Alchemist sitting at 100 or 500 hit points does still have a good amount of hit points here, down to 308 after the Fan of Knives. And now it looks as though the Goblin Alchemist is going to get stuck, but transferring of the Scroll of Town portal more than enough, as all the units are now backing off. 34 over 80 supply compared to 62 over 84. Yumiko now looking extremely, extremely strong as we are moving into the mid game here. So far, Yumiko sitting on a decisive economic advantage, but that gold mine is going to be mined out pretty much momentarily. Meanwhile, if LawLiet can hold on to this gold mine long enough, he will have a significant economic advantage. He's already harvesting more gold than his opponent. The problem is that he is currently down on gold down on supply 38 to 80. Back over here, 70 over 84 supply. 84 supply. We are just continuing DAC over here. You can see that the Spirit of Vengeance quickly going to get shut down off over there, as the Dryads are now trying to regroup. Avatar of Vengeance with maximum mana. Not much is going to be happening with the Avatar of Vengeance. No, not a lot of corpses to really do much with, as we are now transitioning into Knights. The Knights have level 2 armor upgrades, meaning 9 armor. 35% damage reduction is a very, very large amount of damage to be mitigated. All right, what's going to be happening next? We see a Blood Mage has been joined in on this fight, and a Blood Mage perhaps for mana. The problem with that Blood Mage is there are no more creep camps on the map, so any experience given will have to be from his opponent. If he can perhaps take down a number of bears, that may be a very, very big call. But I do like the Blood Mage as the third hero. It is a very strong mana battery to try and give and keep mana up inside that Mountain King. All right, Blood Mage, here we go. What's going to be happening next? Where is that Blood Mage going to be traveling to? And is it going to be able to siphon out enough mana? So far, the Avatar of Vengeance is going to be coming to an end. We see bears here, no chimeras at all. And Yumiko coming in with a very, very large army, now coming in for the engagement. There you go. There you have it. Here's the attack. Yumiko just trying to focus down here, and there is a fan of knives, but not very useful at all. Mountain King now gets up to level 6. Avatar now for the Mountain King, as the Mountain King is just absolutely destroying everything here. All right, let's see what's going down. It looks as though Staff of Preservation trying to save one unit. There is a healing spray onto all of units there. Bear now trying to get taken down, as we can see that the Goblin Alchemist is taking a bit of damage. All right, Goblin Alchemist down to 165 hit points. There is a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, anti-magic potion for the Warden. The Warden now gets away, as we are still fighting this out here. Are we going to perhaps see this Panda get taken, or this Alchemist get taken out? No. Healing spray back up to 470, 550 hit points already. Level 3 healing spray. So much damage mitigation, but also we are going to be looking at a knight perhaps getting taken out here. All right, is the Warden perhaps going to catch up to the Mountain King? I don't believe so. It looks as though Staff of Sanctuary onto that unit there. However, the Avatar is now going to be in a little bit of problems. We could see a Shadow Strike. Are we going to see a Shadow Strike onto that Mountain King? The Mountain King very low on hit points, and it would actually slow it down as well. I'm not quite sure why we don't see a Shadow Strike, as the Mountain King is going to be able to safely run all the way back home. All right, let's take a look at this. Yumiko now in trouble, going to end up perhaps lose this arcane tower here, not even refocus down on some of the other units. The Warden still coming in as well. We can see perhaps another fan of knives or two. Panda sitting at level 4. There's a fan of knives, and that Warden can just start chasing after units and take down unit after unit. Oh, that's going to be a very, very bad day. Is it going to get storm bolted? It looks as though the Mountain King, oh, there's the Scroll of Town portal, and there is the storm bolt on a bear. The bear siphoned mana and was able to get away just in time. That bear very low. And now how are we gonna just heal up the rest of this Night Elf army? We're seeing at 50 over 80 supply compared to 67 over 84. No gold being mined at all by Yumiko. And that is a definite problem, as the bears are now rejoining up once more. So far, Avatar of Vengeance looking strong. And I'm really curious as to what the Warden can really do with that Fan of Knives now. Fan of Knives, not nearly as strong as it was when there was a Footman and Rifleman on the field. Now with Knights and Spellbreakers, the Knights just simply have so many hit points, and the Spellbreakers are magic immune, that the Fan of Knives is not going to really do much to this army, unless you have a very, very long, drawn-out fight. But even then, the Mountain King does have a Staff of Sanctuary, and so does the Alchemist. Here you go. There's the attack. There's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire. There's a Fan of Knives. There is a Stormbolt, but an anti-magic potion used just in time. Staff of Sanctuary used. So another Staff of Sanctuary used. So that, I believe, is all the Staff of Sanctuaries. One bear does get taken down here, as the Warden is trying to focus down more units. Oh, there's a Potion of Mana again. And what is going to happen? So far, a new Avatar of Vengeance comes in. Bear, very low on hit points. The Warden could try to focus down more of the units. The Bear, very, very low on hit points. I don't know why it's still in this fight. Staff of Preservation, I believe, as the Bear is finally going to get taken down here. A new Bear comes in, and the Warden still trying to give chase here. So far, the Alchemist, Warden with Rejuvenation, actually dealing a lot of damage to these units. The Warden could try to back off here. There's a healing spray, and it looks as though siphon mana away from the Warden, as the Warden gets storm bolted. There's a Fan of Knives, and finally able to break that chain there, as the Blood Mage most likely will be trying to come back for it once again. There it goes. It looks as though the Warden needs to peel all the way back again. This is not good. The Warden needs to get perhaps close enough to try and shut down this Blood Mage, as the Blood Mage is now very low on mana, and it looks as though the Blood Mage, no, does not get taken down. Staff of Sanctuary sends him all the way back home. All right, 30 minutes into this game, still no clear-cut winner as of yet. The Warden, now out of mana, may try to get some easy damage onto that Alchemist. The Alchemist already down to 500 some odd hit points, and the Alchemist's high hit points is exactly what you want against the Dryad's Poison, or perhaps or perhaps the Orb of Venom if that Warden ever decided to grab one. Alright, sitting off over here, there's a Clarity Potion. Now onto the Panda. The Panda slowly regenerating all those hit points. Meanwhile, we're seeing a 38 over 80 supply compared to his opponent who's sitting at 61 over 84, but not mining any gold. This is a huge difference. We are still getting reinforcements. We are still adding in bears for LawLiet. Meanwhile, the human army is what you see is what you get. Short of selling items at this point, which would not be a very, very smart call, you don't really have that many other options. The Blood Mage also needs to get more mana as well. You can see another round of healing wave keeping up most of these units. And perhaps the Goblin Alchemist with Transmutation should be able to get off additional gold as well. He just needs to get to level 6. Knight sitting with O2 upgrades, 11 armor, 9 armor, 11 is the maximum. I think you can get up to 16 with Inner Fire, but no sign of Priest as of yet. So far, what are we looking for here? LawLiet is doing a great job, but needs to find an opening, and he's going to force a fight at his base. He knows that the reinforcements are still coming in stronger for him, and therefore he doesn't need to actually look and pick a fight. He knows that his opponent needs to come to him as the gold mines have already been mined out. Alright, Avatar of Vengeance, where is it? There it goes in just a second, and a new one will take its place. And once that new one takes its place, perhaps we will see another fight. There you go, taking down that one skeletal minion, or that one critter, and now there is one Spirit of Vengeance ready to go, and here comes the units. Alright, Knights now looking to come in right there. Panda is off to the north. Warden is right there as well, and there in comes the attack. How much damage can be dealt? The Vengeance, nice fan of knives coming in. I believe a Staff of Sanctuary on that Knight would not be out of the question, as the Avatar of Vengeance is still trying to engage. Wisp are repairing the gold mine, and somehow the Knights are still in position there. Alright, Acid Bomb going onto the Wisp there, and now in comes another Stormbolt onto the Warden, who now needs to get all the way to the very back. You cannot allow more mana to be siphoned away, as the Mountain King is now in the Avatar state as well. Alright, we are still continuing this fight. There's a healing wave, and what is going to be happening here, as there's a Stormbolt onto the Panda. The Panda may get siphoned mana here in just a moment. Warden is in a little bit of trouble. Does have a potion of anti-magic shield. There's a Fan of Knives. Can it blink out of there? Staff of Preservation, I believe, sent it all the way back home. Siphon mana away from the Panda again, as the Panda now has an anti-magic potion for himself. Alright, the only real way to prevent any more of that attack is the anti-magic potion. There is a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, followed by another round of healing spray, healing all the units, and this is just so good for Yumiko right now, if he can actually give a good dent into the army. There's another Breath of Fire. Oh, Staff of Sanctuary saves another Knight there, as the Alchemist and all the units are just trying to stay alive. The Warden has Shadow Melded again. There's another Fan of Knives. It looks as though, are we going to finally see a Knight fall? Yes, we do. One Knight does go down. Are we going to perhaps see a... Oh, the healing spray actually saving the bears, and that was a complete turnaround there. The bears, who were low on hit points, now back up. Staff of Preservation saves another, and all of a sudden Yumiko's actually in trouble. There's a Banish, and are we going to see perhaps the Warden do anything else here? Another healing spray onto the Knights and the bear as well, and it looks as though, yes, another Knight does fall. Bears have come together once again. Everyone is trying to run away. The Panda is right here. There is the engagement. The Avatar has come to an end. Siphon mana away from the Panda. And now, what is going to happen to this Knight? The cooldown on Staff of Sanctuary, I believe, about a minute compared to 90 seconds on Staff of Preservation, as all the units are still backing off here. Warden, very low on hit points. Bear now getting siphon mana as well, but I don't know. It looks like LawLiet is just hanging around in this fight just long enough, as the Mountain King has been unable to finish off any of the heroes, is getting off a couple of easy units, as the Panda now looks like he will be able to get away. Alright, there's some rejuvenation. There's a bear now. There's a Stormbolt. And there's a siphon mana off of there. Staff of Preservation saves it. There's a bolt again. The Warden pretty much out of mana. What is it going to try to do? Is it going to try to engage here? Yes, we are. There's the engagement. There's the siphon mana again. The Blood Mage takes another Breath of Fire out of mana. on that Panda pretty much, as we see another staff of, I believe that was a staff of Sanctuary, as the Alchemist trying to heal up the rest of his units still. All right, siphon mana into that Warden. That Warden blinks all the way off to the north side as we are looking at the Mountain King trying to get away. That Mountain King has a very, very difficult road ahead of him. The Alchemist trying to heal all the units, and it looks as though another bear, I thought a bear was going to get a kill there. Instead, the Spellbreaker, Staff of Sanctuary all the way back home. 2 Spellbreakers, 2 Knights all the way back at home, and that is going to be an important number as we see the Poison now coming in as well. No Shadow Strike as of yet. There is a Banish and a Bolt onto the bear, beautifully done, in order to get a very, very easy, quick kill. 550 hit points is all you need in order to banish bolt a unit. And with that, LawLiet decides to back off, regroup, back by his gold mine. And there is still 4,000 gold plenty for LawLiet. All right, 46 over 80 supply compared to 50 over 84. Yumiko, if he somehow loses this game, is going to be kicking himself for quite a bit of time. Warden now making her way off to the north here. Where is she going to go? Going to perhaps get some additional Moonstone, and also use a Clarity Potion to try and get more mana in that upcoming fight. Panda may try for a Clarity Potion as well. May want an Anti-Magic Potion if possible to make sure that it cannot get siphoned mana. If it holds on to its mana, it's going to be very, very difficult to take down. The Blood Mage, probably wishing that it was an Archmage right now, giving extra mana to each of the other heroes would be key, as the Blood Mage now wandering around. Mountain King sitting at 300 mana. And we are still waiting to see perhaps an engagement happen down over here. LawLiet is looking very strong at this point. The Warden sitting at 380 mana and growing. Avatar of Vengeance looks like it could get taken out at any moment here. There's 3 bears sitting at 49 over 80 supply compared to 50 over 84. And still growing in terms of gold. LawLiet could try and train up some extra units. And now even the Ancients of Lore are looking to join in on the fight. It does not look like Nature's Blessing. Oh, Nature's Blessing is being researched. So the Ancients of Lore could come back around and start trying to deal damage as well. That could be a significant problem, as the Ancients of Lore do deal a good bit of damage. Well, nope, they're deciding to train up more Dryads here. As here we go, fight now down on the bottom. This could be for everything. There is a Bolt, Staff of Preservation on 2 of the low hit point bears. Avatar of Vengeance now backing off. It looks as though the Tree of Life joining in on the fight. The Avatar does get taken out. We may get a new Avatar here in just a moment. There we go. And are we going to see an engagement? There you have it, 25 to 36 damage. We also see the Avatar coming in from the Mountain King. Stormbolt onto the bear. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire onto the Knights, though. And that was a huge Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Knights are dangerously in trouble. Staff of Sanctuary saves one of them. Healing Spray saves the other 2, as the Warden now shows up on the backside to try and take down the Blood Mage. Staff of Sanctuary removes the threat, as it is now no longer nearby. And this is not looking good. The Alchemist now in trouble. Bolt onto the Warden. The Warden could try and catch back up. There is a Blink up front. There is a Shadow Strike. And it looks as though the Alchemist may get taken down. There it goes. Alchemist now taken down. Warden may get taken down there. Warden gets taken down as well. Level 7 Warden and a level 5 Alchemist both taken out. But with the Avatar of Vengeance still in play, I cannot imagine that Yumiko wants to try and engage here. Are we resurrecting the hero? I gotta believe we will be, or should be at this point. Even just manually detonating one of the wisps so that you stay at low upkeep. Very important here. Panda sitting at level 5. Clarity Potion off to the north. Mountain King getting plenty of mana, as the Blood Mage was sent back home and pretty much healed all the way back up. All right, Panda has to be in a little bit of trouble, has to be a little bit worried. Are we going to see anything? There's a Stormbolt, and the Panda may end up getting bashed as well and losing mana. That's going to hurt, as it now tries to run back off to the north. Warden is not being resurrected. There is a Bolt onto the Panda. The Panda of LawLiet may get taken down. There's the Anti-Magic Potion. Is it going to be able to make its way out? There's the Dryads joining in on the fight. And there goes the Panda. LawLiet is now out without a hero, only with an Avatar of Vengeance. And I do believe that is going to be the game. There's not much else that LawLiet can do, Yumiko, even though he is not mining any gold right now, should have a clear advantage. Let's see. Wait, did the Warden come back? Yes, the Warden did come back, so the Warden is back here. Siphon the mana, though. If the Warden is able to somehow one-man or one-person army the rest of this, this would be an amazing, amazing turnaround. Staffos Preservation, the Warden is back in. There is a Siphon mana, and the Warden is down to 500 hit points again. Staffos Sanctuary again. The Bears and the Dryads. What is this? What am I talking about? All of a sudden, the Warden is really just completely owning this fight here. And wow, a Druid of the Claw down to 2 hit points and will be able to survive right there as all the units are on the run. So far, where is that Warden? The Warden is going up against these other units here. Blood Mage did get taken down after a Shadow Strike there. Mountain King now trying to back off. Warden still trying to give chase here, and this is looking like it's not coming to an end anytime soon. The Warden, if he was able to actually perhaps take down the Avatar, may be able to do a little bit of something here. The Mountain King, unable to Stormbolt, now being forced to try and run away from these Dryads. The Dryads have been constantly getting slow poison onto him, and with the slow poison and the slower movement speed, that Avatar is actually taking a lot more damage than he would like. That +5 armor is mitigating some of it in addition to his hero armor. The Warden now blinking all across the map. Is it going to purchase anything new? It looks as though, yes, just going to blink all around here. And it looks as though Yumiko may end up losing this fight here. Down to 26 over 84 supply. I believe LawLiet actually has the higher end. And Yumiko says GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.